Welcome everybody to day 22. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about different sources of protein because you want to make sure that your child is eating high quality protein versus low quality protein. And why is that? Well, I'll explain that in a second. But first of all, I want to make the difference. I want to differentiate between animal protein sources and plant-based protein sources. So in the animal kingdom, when you're eating animal protein, you are getting all the essential amino acids. When it's broken down into your stomach, it's broken down into amino acids, and you are getting all those essential amino acids that you need so you can be building those feel-good chemicals, okay? And you need a variety of amino acids so you can be building a variety of those feel-good chemicals, those neurotransmitters. Now, in the plant-based kingdom, you are also getting protein and you are getting the essential amino acids. However, most plants do not contain all of the essential amino acids. So you need to know how to combine your protein sources to make sure that you are getting all those essential amino acids, which are critical to build those feel-good chemicals. Okay, so now that we've made that distinction, I do want to make a difference. I do want you to understand the difference between high quality protein versus low quality protein. So low quality protein are like all the processed meats, the luncheon meats that you buy to make sandwiches for your children, and also the commercial raised meat that are filled with antibiotics and with hormones. And unfortunately also these animals are raised on genetically modified corn, genetically modified soya, so you want to make sure to minimize your consumption as much as possible of commercial raised meat. If at all, if you can, avoid it completely because you want to be avoiding the antibiotics and the hormones and the genetically modified crops like corn. You might be eating a lot more corn than you think you're eating actually, just by the meat that you're consuming. And the luncheon meats are filled with sugar, are filled with salt, are filled with fillers and chemicals, so you want to be avoiding that as well. The high quality protein, now that's what you want to be eating. You want to be eating fish, different kinds of fish that are really healthy: salmon, trout, sardines, anchovies, and herring. These are the most common and healthy sources of fish. Ideally, if you can get 2 meals a week of fish, ideal. And you can also be eating chicken. Now chicken, ideally you want to be eating pastured raised chicken, and once again not the commercially raised chicken. So you are making sure that your chicken was actually raised, eating worms and all that good healthy natural stuff, and not the genetically modified crops once again, so which are really unhealthy for your gut. Dairy is another excellent source of protein once again, but when we're talking about dairy, we want to make sure that we're eating whole fat dairy, so we're avoiding the low fat dairy products. And why do we want to avoid the low fats? Is because low fat dairy is filled with fillers to compensate for the fat that's no longer there, and it's also usually filled with sugar. So you want to be avoiding the low fat and eating the whole fat because your body and your brain needs fat. However, you want to be ideally consuming the plain yogurt, and not the flavored yogurt when we're talking about yogurt, because you can control the consumption and the amount of sugar that you're consuming. Okay, you can add a little bit of maple syrup or some honey to make it a bit sweeter, but at least you've got control on what you're eating. And you also, ideally, when it comes to dairy, because it's a animal product, if you can buy it organic, it's ideal. Because my nose is itchy, because it's Organic, you will avoid the antibiotics, you're avoiding the hormones, because don't forget, those hormones and antibiotics end up in the milk. So you are consuming that, okay? Beans is another excellent source of protein, and it's also filled with fiber. So you want to be eating a lot of those legumes and nuts and seeds, which are not only a good source of protein, but also an excellent source of healthy fats and fiber. It's an excellent source of all three macronutrients. Eggs are another good source, as well as tofu. But once again, tofu, you want to ideally be eating organic, because it is produced in on a large scale that it is filled with chemicals and pesticides and herbicides and all those things that we want to be avoiding if we want a healthy gut, because you need a healthy gut if you want a healthy brain. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and shoot me a comment below if you have any questions about that. See you tomorrow.